Production in action.
Super chat. My responsible Bulldog's pasta.
Hello.
Did you just make a 12-minute video?
Debate about pasta. Whether you should...
You've reached your limit on talking.
Hey guys, I'm Raj. You might know me
I already
as the
downloaded.
TechG production guy from Sunday game shows, or one of the best Archons in Dota. But today, I'm here for a very important reason. You may have thought that the pasta debate was over after Bulldog released his experiment. However, I'm here to offer the alternative point of view in a way that hasn't been done before. Bulldog always claims that no one in chat really articulates their argument well or explains their point of view. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to first present Bulldog's argument directly to you from his words, and then I'm going to go step by step and explain why he's wrong. So let's begin.
It's a long video. How much salt does an average
My girlfriend
American
dressed up
consume
as
daily?
a policewoman and told me I was under arrest on suspicion of
3,400?
being good in bed.
Is there anywhere you
After
can like
2 minutes,
cut a corner? Is there
all
anywhere in your
charges were
diet where
dropped
you can
due
cut
to
a
lack
corner?
of
Because you need
evidence.
salt.
Frown.
Salt is tasty. Can anyone think of a corner to be cut somewhere in your diet where you can reduce your salt intake? Oh, I know. When you boil the water and you put it in the pasta, you don't need to salt it.
Blah blah.
He's right. Because the sauce you put with the pasta will have all the flavor anyway.
Alrighty, let's talk about the impact of
Yoel, why you don't know all my super? I can't even see super chat. What the hell is a super chat?
salt in your pasta water on your actual salt consumption. Now, as you correctly state, on your actual salt consumption in a day. Now, as you correctly state, the consumption of salt is leading to health concerns worldwide, especially due to highly processed foods having a large amount of salt to help preserve them. However, does salt in your pasta water really add that much salt to your diet?
Growing in.
No.
Don't Google Akari's deaths in life of Pi Pepe laugh.
It adds such a small amount, because only some of it is soaked into the pasta. Meaning, if it's such a small amount, you can't taste the difference. Meaning, it's pointless to put in the salt. So if you put in 10 grams, might be 0.5 grams soaks into the pasta. Meaning you cannot taste the difference. So there's no point in salting the pasta.
Well, let's have a look. I have a study here called Contents and Retentions of Sodium and Other Minerals in Pasta, cooked in unsalted or salted water, by J.A. Albrich, E.H. Asap, and I.M. Buzzard. Well-respected scientists, I'm sure. Now, if I can direct your attention to the screen, ladies and gentlemen, you will see that what they are measuring is the milligram of any particular material per 100 grams of the pasta. Now, as I've highlighted there, you can clearly see we're measuring the sodium in the spaghetti. And if you can look at the salted tap water, it is adding 107.4 milligrams per 100 grams of cooked pasta. That is basically 0.1 grams that is adding per 100 grams. And you may be wondering, why is 100 grams relevant? Well, funnily enough, 100 grams of pasta is actually the recommended serving size for store-bought pasta. So based on these findings, it's making insignificant contributions to the amount of sodium.
Which literally makes my point that you cannot taste it because it's pointless.
5 seconds
Hi,
remaining.
Henrik.
Thanks for making my point. Thank you, Raj, for literally making my point. Not only that, but did you know that when you put in the salt, that salt has to come from somewhere, which means you have to buy it, you have to spend money on it, it has to be packaged, it has to be mined somewhere, someone has to get it and then transport it, which means you're fucking literally wasting salt.
K2, do you want to carry?
You're wasting money, you're wasting salt, you're fucking destroying the universe.
Your turn to pick.
I could do if you want, if you don't want.
Literally just making my point better.
10 seconds remaining.
Thank you.
5 seconds remaining.
Hi, Henrik. How are you?
Yetu's mom, hello.
Hi. I was just watching your cooking video.
Did you learn anything?
Not much, no. J2 cut it off so he could play with you.
In your diet. However, as you've
If you
already
go to an
admitted,
Italian
it does
restaurant,
reduce the
do you
boiling
ask them
point.
to break up
It
your
potentially
spaghetti
adds
into
flavor.
smaller
You claim it
pieces and
doesn't.
cook
We'll
them
get to
in
that
an
later.
unsalted water?
And it helps the
Okay.
pasta not stick together. These are proven facts.
Is it though?
Just salt your mom.
Is it though? Have you ever actually boiled pasta? Is there anyone who struggles? Is there anyone in chat who boiled water who struggled with it? Who's like, damn, this water, I can't get it to boil. I need to put in salt. I'm struggling to make it boil. I need to put in salt. Has anyone had that experience? I haven't, personally.
I rise.
Personally, me, I have not. Pasta sticking together,
Send across
never had a
mum's
problem
sausage
because you have a little
Very
thing, you
nice.
stir it, so you just put in it, stir it.
Like the heads
You
of
stir,
my
and it's like, it's not sticky.
This one is I go. Never in the long history of the earth.
So I don't know if I agree with that, personally.
Like me. Than this one. Growing in.
First blood.
Words can't explain how triggered I am.
Very
Pepe dead.
well.
Hang on, it's cold.
SCA pasta chef.
Why did you
SCA
insult
frogs,
the water?
we do not consider noodles as pasta, sorry. We
Let
do
Jerry
not
go first.
accept noodles as pasta
He's right, you know.
in the West.
Make him smoky. There you go.
30 seconds.
Where were we? So far Raj has basically said putting salt has like no impact because you get so little in the spaghetti. So put 10 gram in this pasta water and almost none get into the pasta, which just says is no impact on it. Unless you truly struggle with getting the boiling point up or it's sticking. So basically just waste your salt. Someone has to get the salt. Someone has to process the salt. Someone has to transport the salt. Then you need to pay for the salt. Then you have to put in the salt for it to do almost nothing. According to Raj. That's what he's saying. True waste. Go on.
The fact that it's adding sodium to your diet is negligible. Negligible. Because not all of that sodium is being absorbed by the pasta.
So it's being completely wasted is what he's saying. And if it's negligible, it'll have negligible taste difference.
You know what does have a lot of sodium though, that is definitely being consumed by your body? Tomato sauce. Now, you're gonna say, but we don't have shitty Heinz, we have a Felix.
No,
Ooh, PewDiePie.
not at all.
No, I don't care, because I have pulled up the exact bottle that you used in the video. Here it is.
Okay. Completely missing the point. And I'm pulling out the paint. Here's the three things. Here's the pasta with salt. Here's the sauce with salt. Here's the ketchup with salt. Here's the finished product. It's nice. I removed the ketchup. For me, this is no longer enjoyable. I removed the salt in the sauce. This is no longer enjoyable. I removed the salt in the pasta water. No difference. So your point is completely invalid and stupid. You're completely missing the point. The point is that if you do salt here or not, you cannot taste the difference. So we're just going to skip this point because it's completely irrelevant. Completely relevant. There. Go on, what's your next one? No, so here's what's important. You don't only eat the pasta, right? You don't only eat spaghetti because you put something on the spaghetti. The thing you put on the spaghetti has the flavor, so it will not be tasted. Because all the flavor comes from the salt or sauce, which is salted.
Let's get on to the real stuff. Let's have a look at the experiment that you have used to prove that salting your pasta in fact does not significantly affect the taste enough for the average person to notice.
Here's the pasta. Now this is whole grain, but it shouldn't. We are good folks. We have UK people.
And you didn't just break it once. God, you actually broke the pasta, and you didn't just break it once. You broke it like 4 or 5 times into small little pieces. Now you might be wondering, well, what does breaking the pasta smaller really have to do with the test? Well, good question, Billy. Why don't we first of all hear from one of the Megacucks that was there that day, Cardi Tardy. As you know, Cardi is extremely busy adding more and more anime skins to but he was able to spare a few minutes with me earlier this week to discuss the experiment and his thoughts. Okay, I have with me Cardi Tardy. Well, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Cardi Tarty.
Would you agree that there is a significant difference in taste between regular pasta and whole grain pasta?
I'm not a big pasta guy. I hate Italians.
I see. Let's move along. Were you made aware ahead of time or during the experiment that Bulldog would be breaking the pasta into small pieces?
I wasn't aware of that. I don't personally agree with that.
Fair enough. Do you think the smaller pieces of spaghetti impacted your ability to have a decent amount of spaghetti per bite?
Yeah, probably.
So there you have it from someone there on the day. Having these small, broken, crappy bits of pasta as opposed to a nice, beautiful, long piece of pasta, which, by the way, the reason the pasta is long, Bulldog, you asked the other day, is so that you can just twirl it with your fork and you can get a good amount of the pasta with the sauce and some of the meat in one bite. It's a perfect system. That aside, breaking the pasta into smaller parts means that there's not much consistency in the sauce to pasta ratio. So what guarantee do we have that they were even able to get enough of the pasta when Cardi himself is saying that he felt like it wasn't the right decision, and he felt like, yeah, it probably did affect how much pasta he was able to take. He was probably getting 90% of the sauce and barely any pasta because some pepeg in Sweden decided to break it 50 different times.
So you can come over here. This is first of all the sauce. So the idea is if you make spaghetti bolognese, the bolognese has all the salt in it and all the flavor in it. You don't need to add salt when you cook the pasta.
Your mother lovingly prepared bolognese for you and your Megacuck friends.
Delicious.
Which is lovely of her. However, is bolognese really a fair test for this kind of experiment?
Yes,
well,
this is literally the point.
Bolognese already has a lot of flavor and a lot of salt in it. It's very saucy. It's normally slow roasted for at least a few hours, which really intensifies the flavor. And it has a heavy amount of tomato sauce in it as well. Is bolognese the only pasta out there though? Have you ever considered, Bulldog, that the reason salting the pasta is so important is that in most traditional Italian pasta recipes, there are just a few simple ingredients. For example, the all-famous spaghetti carbonara has guanciale, which is a pig's cheek. You have pecorino romano, which is a sheep's cheese, which is kind of salty, I'm not gonna lie. You've got egg, no cream, do not put cream. And the thing that ties it all together and emulsifies it is the pasta water. This is something that you are crucially missing as to why salting the pasta water is so important. Because when we cook these dishes like carbonara, like aglio e olio, which is
You're Australian, you've never made any of these meals, you fucking dumbass. Don't act like you know anything.
Like carbonara, like aglio e olio, which is basically oil, garlic, and pasta water. The pasta water helps bring together the oil and the water, making it a more coherent and thicker sauce that is tastier to enjoy.
We're gonna get that pan. We're gonna take a little bit of the pasta water, salty pasta water. We're gonna put it in a pan. This is how you make a beautiful creamy carbonara. And don't be afraid to put just a little bit more pasta water.
And you're gonna drag the pasta and the water into the pan. Bit of water, bit of water. That water and the fat, that is what's going to emulsify to become a creamy sauce.
If you don't salt the water, your sauce is literally going to taste like shit.
This is made up.
So, let's summarize what we learned today. First of all, the amount of salt that is actually absorbed by the pasta in the pasta water into the actual pasta is negligible, about 0.1 grams per 100 gram pasta. Negligible, especially compared to Felix tomato sauce. And secondly, is that cooking a bolognese, which is a very overpowering sauce of pasta, obviously will have a less of a necessity on the salted pasta water than most of your other pastas that just have a few ingredients and really need the salt in the pasta water to actually flavor the pasta and make the sauce. Capiche?
He's right, you know.
Farming, he's right, you know, so chat spams it. Literally, every point he made was false.
I'm under arrest.
Every single point was wrong. Prove it. I literally did it. In case you missed the video, we literally did a test. Some of the finest kick pipers within the community could not tell a difference.
This is
in.
What is this? Madame, what is?
Into the that.
If you don't, to taste like shit.
Okay, quick refute all the points.
So, let's summarize what we learned today. First of all, the amount of salt that is actually absorbed by the pasta in the pasta water into the actual pasta is negligible.
Which furthers the point that if it's a tiny amount goes into the pasta, which means it's negligible, which means it's negligible on the outcome of the meal. It's kind of crazy if you extend that thought. A negligible amount of salt water gets into the pasta means a negligible amount of taste difference. If you just extend that logic to the end of the meal, thank you.
About 0.1 grams per 100 gram pasta. Negligible, especially compared to Felix tomato
Extend
sauce.
the thought to the end product.
And
but then why not add it? It makes no difference on the salt intake. You're literally proving that it does. You literally are saying that it does. And on top of that, salt does not poof into existence. You have to pay for it. It has to be processed. It has to come from somewhere. It has to be transported. A true waste. Nothing is more of a waste than weeps. A truly waste of a resource.
Growing in.
I can't take it anymore. Pepe dead but don't wanna get banned.
Tiny amount of it gets in. Everything else is wasted. And since a tiny amount gets in, you increase your slight amount of salt in your diet with no benefits.
Secondly, is that cooking a bolognese.
Which, this guy is talking, me, I did a test. This guy talks, I did a test. My test also proved my point.
Which is a very
that argument has been defeated.
Overpowering sauce of pasta, salted pasta water, than most of your other pastas that just have a few ingredients and really need the salt in the pasta.
If you make certain pasta dishes, maybe
I did a
it's
test.
more okay.
Pep egg.
But me, I'm not a sheep. You are a sheep because you just do it like, oh, everything should have salt in it. All pasta, everything, maybe some of them. The majority, not so much.
Pasta water to actually flavor the pasta and make the sauce. Capiche?
He's right.
People still saying I'm wrong. I literally did the test. I've literally done the test. And you see what chat's arguments are? Bulldog, you're wrong. Like, that's the take from chat. Not intellectual. You say, like, you're wrong because... Just, you're wrong. Not very intellectual take, if I may say so myself.
Corn on pasta detected. Opinion
You are right.
rejected.
And that's an intellectual take right there. Why don't you acknowledge people make good points? The only decent point is that there are many pasta dishes. Some of them I would see as more okay to salt the water. The majority of them you don't need to because you have a sauce. That's the only half decent point. Every other point was invalidated and stupid and wrong. Well, well, well. Click to dude, an 18-month sub. Banned. You're permanently banned. This is an intellectual. If you want to argue, you can do that. But don't just say rude things, little bro. Actually, we'll give you any final words. Any final words before you get banned. Thanks for your money, though. Winky face. Any final words? You can say, you can apologize, or you can make like an actual argument if you want. But if you just write shit like this, you will be banned, even if you're a sub. Go on. Go on. Hold. It's coming. Hold. Keck, you'll be proud of being right. I don't even know what that means. I mean, I did a test. And the test, a blind test, proved my point. That your average sure cannot tell a difference. The only one that the 2 people out of what is 5 could taste was giga salted. Giga salted. Triple the normal amount. And they were still somewhat unsure about it. Was that really? That's your ending?
Fuck you, Bulldog.
That was your final words? Your test is dog shit, though. Guys, if you write something, please explain why. Like, you can't just say your test is shit. You need to explain why. Why was the test wrong? Age Fma, please. My chat is so fucking stupid sometimes. I just can't. Oh my god. Why? Why? Your test is wrong. Oh, I guess you got me. You got me. You got me. That's a good take.
Just got unbanned, feels good, man.
Oh my god. How about you explain it? Last message before I permaban you. Why? Please explain it. You have one last message. And he's been not retarded. Just Oracle has a good point here. An amazing point. When you salt the cooking water, the salt.
No wonder you're bad at overcooked.
There are flaws in the test, but the test was okay. The amount of salt is negligible, so you cannot taste it because it doesn't get absorbed to the pasta.
So you claim, but this just Oracle says, when you salt the cooking water, the salt is absorbed by the pasta as it cooks. This means that the entire pasta, not just the surface, is seasoned, resulting in a more balanced and flavorful dish. Seems like a very reasonable point. That sounds very reasonable. Until you actually test it. And unless you're a top-level chef or maybe a food snob, you will not taste that difference. And we did a blind test to prove literally that point. There was literally a test, and people could not tell the difference. Because bolognese pasta, you taste the sauce and that's it. Well, that's literally my entire point. He finally agreed with me. My entire point is if you have pasta with a sauce that has salt in it, it's pointless to salt the water. He just said my point. Thank you, Click to Dude. Thank you. Well done. Now get the fuck out. Leave. Holy shit, you are so stupid, man. Literally my point. Leave the community. Goodbye.
10 seconds remaining.
Borgia, go with Devon. Devon, go 3, I guess.
Literally my entire point. Literally
Joel
my
also go
entire
bottom.
point.
Actually, no. I don't know. I don't know.
Growing in.
Your turn.
You've got a bunch of Brits to do the test. Have you seen their food?
That's the only reasonable take, that they were British. But one was Lebanese and Swedish, which are known for better food.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm seeing a lot of people going, lol, British taste buds, even though half of you eat balut every fucking day and think it's nice.
Just eat the food however you like it. That is the main thing in life, smile.
True.
I'm gonna walk top alone now.
Oh hell no, not a brood middle.
He's mine to lose.
Now you're just moving the goalpost. You went on and on about you need to reduce your sodium content, and now you're saying salt costs money. Come on.
Say, Shaman, I'll just push this lane. You do whatever.
On the move.
Sure, I'll be hanging around.
Knocking around.
I refuted all your points. All of them. I think you missed that part. You just did what you claimed me of doing, a straw man. You literally just straw man me, little bro.
Mercy. Time to move.
Here it is.
You probably need more salt than you think. Just this month, the FDA set a new goal for lower salt in American packaged foods. I'm sure you've been told to eat less salt or sodium to be healthy.
Yes, that is true. All the major health institutes say so. But please, Mr. YouTuber, find a niche study or find a niche community that eats more salt than average. Please.
And prevent heart attacks. But have you heard of the Korean paradox? Average Koreans eat a very salty traditional dish called kimchi at every meal. The average Korean eats around 4,000 milligrams of sodium per day, more than twice what the US dietary guidelines recommend. Despite this, South Korea has one of the lowest rates of heart disease in the world. In fact, one study found that the more sodium Korean people ate, the less heart attacks they had. This 2014 study found that based on data from 102,000 people, low salt is quite bad for heart disease. In fact, the data shows that actually eating the amount of sodium the US dietary guidelines recommends would be worse for your health than eating 6.
This is so baloney, man. So baloney. Newsflash, Koreans have less heart attacks than Americans because they eat kimchi. Let me think about that for a second. I think there might be more to it. I think there maybe be more to this. I'm gonna give sus on that.